Zoroastrian religion. I'm a Parsi by race and Zoroastrian by religion. My forefathers came from Persia, but about approximately 1,400 to 500 years back, due to some religious persecution, our forefathers went all over the world and a group came to India. And there was one group which settled on the west coast of India in Gujarat state, and the other went to north somewhere. And Gujarat, they made a promise to the king that we will stay here, we will not interfere, we will not sort of try to convert anyone. In fact, we have come because we don't want conversion. Ours is possibly the smallest religion in the world, and we don't want people. So we settled there, and till today, we have tried to retain our identity, though we are very, very few in number. Now we have people who have gone all over the world, like there are lots in North America. I think Canada, Toronto is supposed to be the second largest Zoroastrian Parsis from India, but there are also Zoroastrians who are not Parsis. They are different, like in Russia, Azerbaijan, and all these places. But culturally, they are quite different. Now, I'll talk a little about when I came into Sahaj Yoga, for me, my religion, I didn't really know much about it, except that, our religion is very simple. It stresses on good thoughts, good words, and good deeds. These are the two things. We call it Manashni, Gavashni, Kunashni, which is the very, very important way of living. Also, our earliest prayer talks of goodness, says that we have to be good for sake of being good. That is the gist of the thing. You don't become good for getting any benefit, but you have to be good from within because it is good to be good. That's the basic thing. Without Zarathustra, as she said, it was one of the oldest, now many historians put him as 8,000 BC, and some put him to 3,000 BC. So once I had an opportunity to ask Sri Mataji that when did he really incarnate, because I was surprised when she told me that he has not incarnated once, but he has incarnated many times in Persia. Now this, nobody has ever told me, but that's what she said. And yes, vibrationally it's true. But again, this particular Zarathustra Lord we talk of is the one who has left only gathas, as she said. These are the songs. They are the, and so orally they have been, given. Until today, people sing gathas, and they are the only things which have been said that this comes directly from the Lord, and that is the real gist of the religion. Later on, due to different kings and kingdoms which came, like Sasanian dynasty, this dynasty, that dynasty, it is all other languages, like Avesta was the oldest language. It's the sister language of Sanskrit. So that way, when the Hindu tradition talk about Rita as the principle of life, we talk of the same thing as Asha, which is the governing rules of the universe. And Ahura Mazda is the Lord Almighty. Actually, nobody still knows, but Ahura is the male aspect, the Sadashiv, and Mazda is the feminine aspect, the Adi Shakti. And we have descriptions of, because people say that we are nature worshippers. So, there are a lot of little litanies written about water, about the fire. Again, fire is the symbol of our religion. So people say that you are fire worshippers, but it's not that. Fire is the symbol for our fire within. It's not that we are worshipping fire for the sake of, as an element. So, and as you said, that it's a fight between the bad force and the good force. And one thing which, after I came into Sahaj, I started reading about my scriptures. Unfortunately, Avesta is today an extinct language. Nobody knows it. And those who know it don't know the spirit, so they go by the word. So, the way they have described it, reducing it to total, I don't know what, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. But after coming to Sahaj, I started reading in translation, in English. And I found a lot of things where he has talked openly about today what is happening in Sahaj. And one thing he said about that human beings have a role to play. They are helpers of God. They are helpers of God who will go and help mankind, you know, to change. And today this is being done in Sahaja Yoga. Also he has, you know, like as a symbol of religion, you know, when the child is around 7 or 9, we do, like how you have baptism and whatever, we have something called Navjot. That means a child is initiated into the religion. Wears a white sort of a sadre, we call it, and there is a girdle around the waist, which is called the kusti. But after I came into I realized it goes 3 times around the waist, and it's got 7 knots, which again is 7 and 3. You know, there are so many things which are there in the religion, but unfortunately, I think the Zoroastrian, the Parsis I'm talking about, the Parsi Zoroastrians in India, they are such conditioned people, they will not want to change, they will not want to really hear. And once when I was in Sahaj in Ganpati Pule, and mother's brother, Papa Mama, he introduced me for something, and he said that the most difficult thing in the world is to bring a Zoroastrian Parsi to Sahaj Yoga.
Wow.
So possibly I'm one of the very few ones.
We have also
Parvis now. But you know, I met Parvis and her husband now. I met another couple from Karachi, Zoroastrians, last year at one of the pujas, and one boy at Emiliana's place who is an Irani from. But in Bombay, in India, it's very difficult. There are 2-3 Iranis I know, but Parsis I have come across 1 or 2 came and they disappeared, but not many.
But something Sahaja wanted to say, because Parvis, when she checked the vibrations for the 10 numbers for the 10 gurus, she got this one, Zoroaster. Yes.
Yeah.
Parvis, she couldn't make it today. So many actually will come to our seminar and they will present there because she's coming from more than 9 or 10, crazy. So many couldn't really present, but it's so interesting that she got this number.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Yes.
The 2 things I forgot
That's
to,
it.
please to say
Yeah.
it is exactly how she was saying. I too understood better our own religion. I went to because that's why I'm saying this is the basis of all I going in Romania. I went to the church with my mother, and everything made more sense from what they were reading there in the Bible. I have no different understanding. So that's one thing I'm wanting to say is related to the having all religions being one in the end, because they all want to bring you closer to God and divinity and make you cross this line from materialism to spiritual. And exactly, I forgot to mention the fire, which is so important in the religion founded by Zarathustra, because fire transmutes the physical, so transforms from material, burns the material and becomes light. It moves it from material to spiritual. So this is extremely important because that's, we want to cross this line. We want to go from the material world.
And can you show us where the light is? Because when you talked, I felt the left heart opening and so cool. Look, the flame, the spirit. That's the point.
That's the point, because we want, as I was saying earlier, to have the spirit and soul join.
But we have to understand that in Sahaja Yoga it's not about spirituality at a mental level. It's about transformation. That's all about. It's not like to be nice or be good or to talk about spirituality, but it's really becoming. So it's when you talk about the spirit, my spirit just responded when you said about the fire. So you see, we receive answers from within, that that's the fire of the spirit.
Could you talk about the relationship between